Welcome to the Disability Myth, the podcast where we explore the realities of disability with handsomeness, humility, and hamminess. My name's Dominic, and I was born with a fatal neuromuscular condition called spinal muscular atrophy. My co-host, Uriel, and I tackle serious issues, but we don't take ourselves too seriously.
SMA and boats. How did that go?
SMA and boats?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, boats are just not as wheelchairs. We're here to share stories, break down barriers, and remind everyone that we're not so different. So hit subscribe and let's shed light on some myths. Heyo!
Back in the hot seat.
Yeah, we're back. It's been a minute. Welcome back to another episode of the Disability Myth.
With
Uriel.
And Dominic.
That's me.
Yep.
Uriel's him.
Yep.
We are your handsome, humble, and hammy hosts. We're excited to be back, and once again, we brought some new friends with us today to talk to. Their names are Derek and Justin, and they are members of the SMA Support Mates Program. As you all know, I have SMA myself, and whenever I get the chance, I love sharing the love with my fellow SMAers. So it's awesome to have you guys on. And yeah, just welcome on Derek and Justin.
Hello,
Oh, it's great to be here. My name's Eric, and
my name is Justin.
Awesome. So I mean, like, the first thing I would just like to jump right into, just not the reason you're here, but the main talking point that I want to go over is the SMA Support Mates Program that I am also a member of now, and it's been
Congratulations.
thank
It's
you,
gonna be
thank you.
it's a really cool program.
Yeah, so like let's talk about it really quick. What is the SMA Support Mates Program?
so basically, it's a program that connects young individuals of SMA to mentors who are there to kind of work them through the challenges of having SMA. I know that Dominic, you have SMA, but support partners, well, we call them support partners, the compassionate mentors. They're also open to individuals who don't have SMA, and part of the training is helping them understand some of the challenges of the condition, and then giving them one-on-one pairing so that they can really build a deep connection with their young individual. So apart from that, we also have some community events like game nights just to help everybody in the community connect with each other and foster a larger social network for those with SMA. Um, yeah, apart from that, we also have this thing called Product Showcase where we encourage young individuals to kind of explore their own interests with their partner and then give monthly updates on it. And this way, we can kind of, again, bolster their confidence, but also get them more ready to actually publicly speak in the future, which it can be a little bit difficult, even for me. I don't have SMA, but I was never really that great of speaking until I really had to push myself to get out there. So I think that's really valuable for any young person to do, and I wanted to also share it with people like Justin.
Heck yeah. And what's your experience been with it so far, Justin? How are you enjoying it?
I really like being part of the nonprofit. Right now, I am the individual who is being paired with the support mate. I also really like my support mate. They seem very nice.
That's cool.
Oh, well.
Heck yeah.
I really like the game night too. That sounds really fun.
I know, like
Yeah.
I want to talk more about that, especially the game
Yeah.
night,
It's a
and just like
great way for community building,
yeah.
Like, is that a combination of online board games, video games, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, so we use a site called boardgamearena.com. So
Wow.
basically, the reason why I selected the site is because it's really very easily playable for people with SMA, just because it's obviously an online game and you really just need to click cards. So there's no like real reaction time component, which can be challenging for some people. So that's the main reason why we chose that platform. And we do have a great time doing it. We actually had a game night just a couple of weeks ago, and there were a lot of people who attended. So that was
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I was gonna attend, but that was our birthday, and we were hanging out with Eric.
was
um,
that our
oh,
birthday, the
Yeah,
25th?
congratulations.
yeah.
Uh,
Like,
Yeah, funny for those listening for the first time. We share birthdays,
Yeah,
which
we
is
got
like
the
really
same
funny.
birthday.
It which is really funny.
Yeah. Well, he's
A
Uriel's a
year
year
older.
older than
Yeah.
me, but yeah, we're both August 25th.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh wait, I'm August 27th.
Yeah.
Happy late birthday,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
thank you.
birthday. Well, yeah. It's
Virgo season.
well, I think st whole statistically, I think the highest volume of birthdays are July, August, September.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
which is in yeah, it's like July, August, September. Just start telling people happy birthday. You'll probably have a good chance.
Yeah.
It's like really funny. You
Oh yeah, actually, apart from Justin, all of our family's birthdays are in July and August. So like, I'm scrambling to write birthday cards during that
Told
time.
you. I told you. It's something about it. Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe if you go 9 months back, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, a little random fact and
Birthday fact.
question,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's go through our icebreakers real quick. Let's just have some fun. Um, so our first question, if you guys had a time machine, would you choose to go back in time to a specific event, or would you choose to go sometime in the future?
I want to go back in time so that I can fix all of the mistakes I made.
That's so deep. You're so
Yeah.
dang. Yeah. Wait, what mistakes have you made? You can't have made that many egregious mistakes, Justin. How old are you? Like 14? Come on now.
Yeah,
Do you have any mistakes you'd want to share?
Share with the
Yeah,
class,
no
Justin.
pressure.
No pressure though. Yeah.
mm, lying.
Lying?
Yeah,
Yeah. I lied a lot when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
One time I got dirt on my tires in my wheelchair, like at school because it was like raining. I got mud in my tires basically. And I didn't say anything to my stepmom who I was living with at the time. And she asked me how school, if I had like stuff on my wheels. I'm like, oh no, I'm good. And I rolled in and I got dirt, like mud all over the carpet. She
Oh
was
no.
so mad at me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, well, actually, Justin hasn't really done that, but luckily, our four is wood. It's not that
Yeah, that's
easier to
better.
clean up.
Definitely easier.
Hey, were
Yeah.
you doing mud on carpet?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
in an apartment?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a big oopsie.
yeah.
How about you, Derek?
Yeah, time machine, back, forth.
I think I'd personally want to see the future just to see what the end of humanity looks like. I mean, like, I think we all know what's coming sooner.
The end of
End of
humanity?
humanity. Yeah.
He's so sure of it. Wait. Why are you so sure it's coming that soon?
Well, I mean, not like soon. I mean, like, sorry, I meant like it's eventually gonna happen. So
Okay.
I'd
Oh, yeah.
like, yeah, I want to see like what our world looks like before it all, gets torn to shreds.
Yeah, well, all great empires must fall.
Okay, let's take bets. How's it gonna happen? What's gonna be the end of the world?
Oh,
Oh,
AI,
oh,
asteroids,
honestly, I think it's just
or
gonna be,
meteors?
honestly, I'd put my money on extreme climate change.
well, I
Basically,
was gonna say the same thing.
yeah, because parts of the world are just gonna be so uninhabitable and millions of people are gonna become climate migrants. And current governments and infrastructures won't have the capability to house that many people. And then political unrest, then it just kind of like, like the classic, how humanity beats, like
I
yeah,
feel.
yeah, like and nobody's gonna want to take blame or like acknowledge that stuff is bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my guess.
that's
I
fair.
feel like that's gonna happen. I would say, like, I don't think it's gonna take 2,000 years. Like, it might happen very. I mean, I think that 2,000 years is kind of a short period of time considering, everything. But yeah, I feel like we're headed in a pretty bad direction.
Yeah, I could probably see it in our lifetimes when we're like
No, no,
older. Nah, I don't know.
don't say that, dude. I don't want to
Yeah.
die.
No, you won't die, but
What does world ending mean?
uh,
That's what world ending
you
The
means.
won't die. You won't
rapture,
die instantly.
Wait, what's up, Justin?
the rapture.
The Rapture, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Mm.
Have you guys ever seen what's that movie? The Omen?
No,
That's about the rapture and like the
Is
what
that
is
with Nicolas Cage?
it? Is it? I don't know. It's
Dude,
like
dude, I don't know.
no, it's like that's not the one I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the one about like his name is Damien. He's like the son of the devil or something. The devil incarnate. I forget. Anyways, lots of crazy stuff happening for sure, for sure. Speaking of movies, if a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be? And who would you choose to play you as the actor that plays you?
mm, my movie would be family friendly. I also want the actor to be me because I do not know any actors.
That's
You
fair.
don't know any actors, fair.
No, that's a fair. No, that's a fair response
The
because
best person to play me is me.
no, I think that's a valid response because
Yeah.
like anybody can act, much like anybody could sing. So who's your favorite singer? It's a little, yeah, me.
Yeah.
It's like because I don't.
'Cause baby, you're a firework.
Yeah, it's just like not a bad choice, not bad. How about you, Derek?
Well, I mean, like, I also have to go with family friendly because nothing crazy's happened yet, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yet. Maybe it could turn into a horror story in the future. Who knows? Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
I'd say that for actors, I also don't know anybody, so I'm gonna have to go with me as well.
That's fair.
Um, Donald.
What's the bit we always do? It's like, oh,
Oh, you're
I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
no,
Or I'm John Cena.
you're
Hulk.
Spanglish, Adam Sandler.
I thought you were Adam Sandler.
I don't want to be Adam Sandler.
No, Adam
Sure,
Sandler's
I'll be
you.
Adam Sandler.
No, Adam Sandler's you.
What? I am? Oh,
My
sure, I'm Adam
my
Sandler.
actor
Yeah.
is Chris Hemsworth.
Jason Statham.
He's kind of bald.
So?
I'm not.
Or Jason Bourne? I don't.
Jason Bourne. That's not an actor. That's kind
Oh. I
okay.
think you could pull it off.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You want to ask the last icebreaker, buddy?
Yeah, best piece of advice you've ever been given.
Hmm, the best piece of advice I have been given is from my daddy, who said that I cannot lose my best trait, which is being smart, because that trait is what helps me get recognized.
Heck yeah.
Mm.
That's good advice. I
Mhm.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, just remind you yourself a bit
Yeah.
of like,
Maybe that explains why my dad like made me do so much math homework during the
yeah, I
summer, even though I wasn't in school. Wanted me to be all smart. And 10 years later, I suck at math.
I know you're better than most people, I'll be real. Like, it's interesting how many adults are not good at math. Especially people throwing around like bogus statistics. This is like, okay.
What about you, Derek?
I say for me, probably you can't always control things. So I know pretty basic concepts. It was from my mom actually, but I'm kind of in, I'm kind of like an overthinker, if you will. So a lot of the times I'm trying to like plan out situations perfectly, but it does kind of limit my ability to actually take step forwards. And running the nonprofit actually did help me kind of get over that because sometimes you just have to run with what you got and then just see what happens next.
Hmm. I know you relate to that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we're a couple of chronic overthinkers,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is like it's just like a bit of anxiety and it's only natural because it's like you said, you're trying to like reduce uncertainty,
Mhm.
and it's just like it's perfectly normal to be anxious when you're doing something new because you've never done it before, and it's just wild. Yeah, there's so many things to think about.
So I just want to talk about that for another second. You said running the nonprofit has kind of helped you get over that to an extent. Can you just talk a little bit more about that in detail?
Oh, sure, yeah. So it's mainly been planning initiatives because as I was planning initiatives, I would plan them. I think, for example, a really good is actually SMA Support Mates. I spent a long time planning that out, but then as I ran the initiative, there were lots of things that had to be changed, like ranging from our marketing of the program to actually the program itself. So, like, even with all that planning, eventually you just kind of have to accept that your plan won't match reality like 100%. So, just like planning the best of what you can and putting the rest of your effort to like focusing on the present and changing the present for what, you can actually control.
Yeah, that's valid. I think it's an important lesson to learn because you and I have experienced some people don't quite figure that out yet.
Takes a long time for some people.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
no, really.
yeah, and it's like like it also goes into like some people like in higher positions or like your boss might not fully understand like the amount of work or all the things you have to go through to get something off the ground.
Yeah,
They not might fully understand it. It's like like that sense of like control, like what controlling what we can, what we can't. Because like some people don't want to hear like, oh, like we could do this, but we not might be able to do this.
yeah.
And
Well,
like, you know,
and we had a whole podcast episode about this topic. Specifically when, we first started, we did a whole program talking about
uh,
control,
yeah.
how much people feel like they have control over their lives, like why it matters, and how that interacts with having a disability, especially one like SMA. And you feel free to jump in, Justin, but like my experience is with my SMA, I feel like I have to feel like I'm in control a lot because if I'm not in control, I feel like that's when the most bad stuff happens. Like if someone's, turning me in bed or like dressing me, I need to know that like, they're gonna move my legs or move my arms in a way that won't hurt me, right? Or stretch out my contractures or make me uncomfortable. Like there's a certain way I like things to be done. Are you like that too?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about what I understand is the kind of overarching thing here. So SOAR. So
Mhm.
what exactly is SOAR?
I'm assuming it's an acronym.
Yep. I wanted the name to be cool when I made it, so I came up with SMA Outreach and Awareness Resource to stand for SOAR. Initially, this our organization was actually just supposed to kind of be US-based support for SMA Vietnam, which is an SMA patient group that helps out individuals with SMA in Vietnam, hence the name. We started out by just having a fundraiser for individuals with SMA during Lunar New Year. It's a really big holiday in Vietnam, and a lot of kids like to get it's called lucky money, and it's basically in red envelopes. But because individuals with SMA, they obviously have a lot of other financial costs, right? They have diapers, wheelchairs, and all that stuff. Vietnam actually provides like standardized healthcare, but it doesn't actually account for people who have to have like more things, if that makes sense. Like you won't get that much coverage. So I felt like giving those kids that lucky money could really help reduce some of the financial burden and kind of just lighten up the mood for that holiday. I actually did get a bunch of pictures of kids with SMA who were holding the lucky money, so that was really nice to look on.
Oh,
That's
And
super.
after that, we kind of went more into this idea of doing more activities that could support SMA Vietnam. So that was when we first had that idea of kind of an English tutoring program. But eventually, we looked at a way that we could also benefit those in the US as well. And their needs were actually pretty separate. So During a pilot survey of SMA support mates, that's still what we called it, we realized that those in the US were mainly looking for like emotional support and just people who could understand them and talk to them. Whereas those with SMA in Vietnam were really looking at, ways to increase their opportunities in the future, especially because they don't really have financial security most of the time. So because of that, that's why we decided to frame the initiative and kind of like split it into two separate initiatives, basically. For the SMA Vietnam side, we have secured the $1,000 of funding, and we're still currently working on like, kind of all the logistical details. We got the US-based one running in the meantime, just because that one does require less monetary support for tutors. And luckily, it's been going really well.
That's so cool.
Wow.
So this is wild to me too, and I don't think this has been mentioned yet. But Derek, how old are you? Like 17, 18?
Yep, 17.
17.
Yeah.
And bro's out here doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
Yeah.
What's this whole journey been like for you? Have you had like a lot of help from other people, like older peers, mentors from like SMA, what is it, SMA Vietnam?
Hmm. So yeah, my main mentor was Miss Tracy from SMA Vietnam, who's actually the leader. And she really helped me understand kind of like what I should be looking for when I'm creating initiatives. That's mainly like you have to figure out the timeline, like how many people you'll need to recruit. And she really did instill that idea of looking forward as much as you can without having to overthink it. Because even
Mm.
she was like, okay, we're going to make this plan, but as things get closer, just be aware that our timeline is probably going to change and all of that stuff. So, um, I mean, I didn't exactly get it at first, but over time, I really learned to instill that lesson in myself. Um,
I help create social media posts.
Yeah, that was the other really big thing of running my nonprofit was learning how to lead other people. Because if you asked me 3 years ago if I'd be doing this, I'd tell you like heck no, because I'm honestly pretty terrible at social interaction. Like in ninth grade, I was like the quietest person on the planet. I'm still pretty quiet, but at this time, I kind of know how to better like um turn my ideas into actions that I can lead other people into, if that makes sense. So. Um, it's been a lot to kind of learn how to collaborate more. That was another thing that not really experience didn't really have that much experience with before running it. But now I see how I can like kind of unite people under their separate strengths, like Justin's social media posts, for instance, and kind of use them to help the entire machine of the non-profit run together.
That's cool. So what I'm hearing is that Justin is a social media expert.
Mhm.
Not really.
I did train him too. I don't like to have somebody who like well, I have high expectations. I put it like that. So, I like to train people based on my own expectations.
Mm.
Yeah, that's cool. How's that been for you, Justin? Do you enjoy helping Derek with that stuff
Mm, there were some days.
on some days?
There were some days when I did not like it
Yeah,
because I think he had too many high expectations.
I
sounds
am
like a
very picky.
Mm.
sounds like a classic little brother, big brother dynamic.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's cool. Um,
Uh,
I think you kind of mentioned
the evolution.
the evolution of it. What was the specific inspiration for SMA mates for the SMA Support Mates Program?
Mhm. So yeah, so after that pilot survey, I realized how kind of different their needs were. And around the same time, it wasn't just like my noticing of Justin, but I did look more into that whole idea of needing more emotional support for the SMA community just by going on like searches through the internet and looking at the case studies. And I realized that they did experience more mental health issues, and that was rooted in a social isolation. And
Mm.
it kind of because of the social isolation that kind of like made everything worse. So I did want to give a pro like create something that not only helped with social isolation, but also worked at like underlying causes. Like for example, stigmas about appearance and just the independence I knew was a big thing for people with SMA, and kind of you know, giving them someone to work through with that outside the family, just because family is obviously an amazing source of support, but we're humans, right? So we want, we want to kind of expand our networks like that. And knowing that there's somebody outside of your family that you can connect to, it's a really good feeling of just like, well, I'm more than I can connect to people, well, outside my family, so I do have a place in this broader community.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And I think it's really cool that you are willing to do the research and look into like the cultural differences and needs of like both like groups.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
go next. Like
Yeah.
you said you've, checked out case studies and researched what I mean, I don't want to put you on the spotlight, but like that's really interesting. I think not only to me, but to Uriel too, and
Well,
probably
yeah,
a lot of the people listening.
because we talk about that at times where there's a lot of like stigma revolving around people with disability here in the US.
Hmm.
And because American culture is inherently pretty ableist, like if a lot of people feel like it's too much of a hassle, too much of a chore to go out and socialize because there's so many factors you have to consider. Like, will there be a ramp? Like, where
Bathroom
can
access,
bathroom access? Yeah,
disabled parking.
which and I think just you know like coincides with this isolation.
Yeah, because like why would we go out if everything's going against us? And
Yeah,
obviously like that's changing over time and that's
yeah.
getting better. But what I wanted to ask was what are some of the more prominent like themes or just things you've noticed from the research that you've done or your experiences in like patients or people with SMA like that kind of fuel what you do?
I think one of the big ones is just first of all body image. A lot of it like stem from just them kind of looking different, and they actually developed. There was like one paper I read. I can't really name it off the top of my head, but he looked at the fact that they kind of sometimes they had eating disorders just because, well, they just didn't really feel right about eating, if that makes sense. Sorry,
Yeah.
kind of blanking on the information in my head right now, but
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and then. Another one was kind of like relationships, especially romantic ones. Just that idea that it was harder for them to find love and connections, again, just because of the way they look and because people were less willing to go out of their way to connect with them. That was a major inspiration for starting the program in general. But I think that it did really help that what I also looked at kind of social media sites where similar stories were posted of people like talking about the fact that, well, I've never had romantic relationship and all those things. And then there were people in the comments who were saying that you can do this because I have SMA and I've done it, and it's definitely possible for you to find connections. So that also inspired me to, start creating a community that could do the same thing for anybody who joined it, especially if, they're an individual transitioning into adulthood and they're becoming more aware of the challenges that they might be facing.
Oh, that's beautiful. That well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Dominic and I talk about that sometimes where it's like there's like a shrinking third space in the US and like with the disability it makes it hard to go out and socialize. So creating a community like yours is very much appreciated and very much needed.
Definitely. And
Like yeah.
that's why I signed up for it because they're like all the things that you just went over, the body image, the lack of romantic
Yeah.
relationships, lack of self-confidence even is
Hmm.
probably in there somewhere. Um, Having someone to talk to about that stuff that's been in my shoes, like growing up, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know that's impacted the way I think and the way I look at life as much as I try to not let it.
Hmm.
And so in this world now where we have the opportunity because of you to connect, younger adults, kids with older adults with SMA who've been in their shoes, who've had those feelings to kind of help mentor them and guide them through those emotions. Um, I think that's really special.
Yeah,
Like,
it's extremely important is
yeah,
this, yeah, because
Oh, oh, thank you so much.
it's like I know Dom is different, but I could only relate with when it comes to like race, where it's
mhm,
just like I relate better with people that are like people of color usually
yeah,
because we have like shared or similar experiences, and it's hard to get my point across to people who might not fully understand like
yeah,
race dynamics as I do. And similar to you, where it's really hard to express yourself with people that are not disabled because like I can't fully understand everything.
hmm,
Like, does that make sense?
yeah.
And I think having a mentor, someone that's experienced it, that can relate to you, that has felt the way you felt, is like very validating and like, oh, finally someone gets it. Like I don't feel alone.
Well, and like, there's probably a bunch of psychological terms that pertain to this, but
Oh yeah,
um, just having someone to like help you change your frame of mind about
very
not
important.
only yourself, but like your place in the world, how you look at yourself in the world, and
Role models,
yeah.
very important. Yeah, which is like we've discussed about that as well, where there's like you could argue there's a lack of male role models out there,
Hmm.
and when you see the role models that do exist, you realize none of them are disabled, so I can't fully relate to them, and like vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, dude. So in some cool stuff.
it's some cool stuff. Oh, you don't want to rant there, my bad.
Quick Lays session.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think that one thing for me is just like, I think this idea is also in American culture, but that idea that you're really capable of everything, kind of like that American dream, and how it doesn't really exist. And well, like, because in reality, you can't really do everything, like everything you want. That's especially prevalent for people with disabilities, just because, you can't go out and socialize. And um, even like academically, you might not have access to the like assistive equipment you need. So
Mm.
that kind of culture does make it harder for people with SMA to kind of accept that you do have these limitations, but it's more important to look at how you can work around the limitations you do have and be satisfied with how you've been able to overcome that, because that in itself is something that a lot of people won't have to go through.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Um,
Oh yeah. Are there other forms of advocacy or programs that you'd like to pursue?
yeah, so like you have the SMA Support Mates Program
Yeah.
and you have SOAR.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
how do you expect that to kind of evolve and change over the years, or any like concrete plans you want to pursue, things you want to do with that?
I definitely have a lot of ideas for things I want to do in the future. So okay, let's start with, I think one big one is just advocacy for more access to SMA treatment, specifically like lowering the costs. It is ridiculously expensive, and
Four
Oh
every,
yeah.
yeah,
$125,000
This is for your spin rod,
for a
but
Spinraza injection. Yeah.
I know
yeah,
and it's so damaging to people in third world countries because again, they just don't have the insurance. Like
Yeah.
in the US, it's still pretty bad, but I heard from Dr. Tom Crawford. He's the pediatric neurologist that specializes with SMA and has been treating for just for a long time. But even he said that if you have SMA, you're probably going to be able to get access to treatment. Like you'll be able to get a Spinraza injection if you have insurance, but that kind of safety barrier doesn't even exist in several countries. And because SMA is a time-sensitive disease, that can be really damaging, even if they eventually do raise the funds to get treatment.
Yeah.
right. We were talking to a Canadian not too long ago, and they said something about
Uh,
if you were to move to Canada, you'd get insurance, but they wouldn't even cover your Spinraza because of like pre-exist or something. I forget.
It depends. There's a lot of
Yeah.
factors when it comes to
Yeah.
like socialized medicine countries.
Yeah.
Like I know someone from the UK that couldn't get Spinraza because the doctor didn't want to take the risk of administering Spinraza
Mm.
with their spinal fusion surgery. Like they already had their spinal fusion for their surgery or scoliosis, and the
Mm.
doctor didn't want to like mess anything up, so he was like, "No, I really don't want to do Spinraza for you." Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, I guess Justin, I don't think, well, okay, so for me personally, for what I've seen, because I actually was shadowing this neurologist, but I'm um injections for Spinraza are actually difficult. And I think that's really like not great to hear. They've actually been doing some research to kind of have um uh like something surgical so you can input Spinraza easier, but because it is such a difficult like I guess injection to administer, I think maybe that could contribute to like how there's kind of a lack of providers out there as well. And that
Yeah.
like alongside your lack of access to finances, then you actually have to go through the troubles of finding a provider who's able to do it well for you.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, I feel a part of this is like a just a lack of specialists, people that can do those procedures. Like, and I believe you, I'm not sure if Dom had mentioned it to you, but you have a port in your spine that makes it a little easier.
Yeah, so uh I have what's called I think it's referred to as like a baclofen pump, which is a specific, I believe, seizure medication, um, baclofen. But in this case, it's a port where they can administer Spinraza for me. And, it's just like a little port, like a mesh port that's been surgically implanted it's against my back, my lower spine. And so my neurologist can use ultrasound to find the port, and then he can inject straight to the port, knowing where it is with the ultrasound. And there's a tube that connects it to my spinal cord.
Right.
And yeah, so he injects it and then flushes it with a saline solution, and it's really, really straightforward and simple.
Yeah.
But again, like to go back to what you were talking about, the cost barriers, especially like
Yeah.
having a surgery just to be able to get Spinraza,
Yeah.
that's another barrier.
Because you need to find not only like a provider that will cover it, but then you need a specialist that is in that country that is an expert in that type of surgery and somebody that could do that type of procedure with like a backboard. You know, and it's just like
Exactly.
it's very, yeah.
Okay, let's.
But yeah, you're like big on the Spinraza too, and it's just like they're trying to make it more accessible from if I recall.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure that's like an international, global kind of
Oh yeah.
push, but I don't know. Maybe you can speak more on that, Derek.
Oh yeah. So um I do think that Spinraza does look more promising than, well, at least Evrysdi from the standpoint.
Hmm.
Just because Evrysdi, because it's obviously an oral medication, it doesn't immediately bypass the blood-brain spinal cord barrier. So
Yeah.
Spinraza is probably going to be the way to go in the future. And I'm the thing is like I'm not entirely sure. I know that um I guess a lot of families are focused on Zolgensma just because like that is the one-time therapy, and after that, you're basically your motor function improves a lot, but I think that focusing on Spinraza is a lot more it's a lot more valuable for like people with SMA who are already here, like that aren't babies. And
Yeah.
that's like a population that, I feel definitely can't go missed, especially because one of them is my brother. So
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yep.
Do you mind me asking, Justin, what type of SMA you have?
I have type 1.
Okay. Yeah, well, no, that makes perfect sense because, I mean, like what you said there, there's so many of us, Justin, myself. I mean, I have type 2, but we've already lived for so long without treatment, right?
Hmm.
And so we have a limit on our mobility, our motor function, and there's a there's a whole population, like you said, of people
Yep.
that um, deserve treatment, just like, the newer like the babies that are being treated now with Zolgensma. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's like a whole ethical thing, right? Because you have babies being treated with Zolgensma, like the one-off injection, that
Right.
are uh, able
Seeing
to walk and
yeah,
like live
significant result.
pretty normal
Yeah.
ambulatory lives, with some assistance,
Right.
versus people like us who are, quality of life, I think, is somewhat limited because of the damage that SMA has done already,
Yeah,
specifically
over
like
time.
in
Yeah.
my instance. That's just my
Hmm.
experience.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's interesting to think about what could be.
Yeah, because I mean, the ethical argument is, well, if you could somewhat cure SMA at birth, then there's like no reason for Spinraza. But like you said, I think that's bogus because it's like then you're ignoring
This whole
up,
population.
yeah, the whole group of people that like
Yeah,
need it.
yeah,
It's like which is like not how medicine works. Usually they like try to do both. It's just yeah, because you
yeah.
just can't ignore a particular group of people.
Well, and not only from an ethical standpoint, but a cost efficiency standpoint too, because all the people, including myself, including Justin, like we need medical care like for the
Yeah.
rest of our lives. And that's like a whole thing that we could solve. We could save money if SMA was being treated and we gained back motor function somehow.
Right.
It would require less care for us.
Right, but that's just how medicine and science
Yeah,
work. It's like it's a heavy investment for big benefits
yeah,
further down the road,
yeah,
right? And that's kind of a hard concept for some people to wrap their heads around because you and I we have this discussion where people are a little like anti-science or anti-intellectuals, like no, like it's costly to invest in science. We have to know, we have to figure it out.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that I've looked into some motor restorative therapies as well. Have you guys heard about a epidural grab? Like I don't know how to say the name, but yeah, there's like I've heard that it was being done on type 2 and type 3 individuals at the so I'm hopeful that that's able to help restore some motor function.
I forget, is
Could you
that,
enlighten me? Yeah.
yeah, so epitomagrab, if that's how it's pronounced, I forget too. Um,
Uh,
I was
not sure.
talking about this with Mikey last week when he got on call.
Lamada?
Yeah,
Mm,
shout out Mikey.
yeah,
He
go.
watches. Um, we were talking about this specific treatment, and it's supposed to be used, I think, like in tandem with other treatments like Spinraza, Zolgensma, Evrysdi. It's supposed to enhance muscle growth or encourage muscle growth.
How does that work? Is it
Do you know
for
more, Derek? I've barely done any research on it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. It's basically like you said, expressing muscle growth. So because obviously, besides the fact that neurons in SMA are disrupted, like they can't connect to muscles, the other issue is the fact that muscles are atrophied, so it is harder for people to use the muscles. The other, yeah, so that's kind of how epidermal, I think it's apitegromab, whatever. I think that's how you say it, but that's kind of what it mainly hopes to restore. I think that again. It's amazing, but it would have less impact for people like my brother just because they have less neurons. So I think that's kind of why they're testing it on type 2 and type 3 people with SMA to begin with. The
Yeah.
other promising thing is there's something called spinal cord stimulation, and that has the potential to actually help restore neural pathways. So that's probably what I'm most excited about.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. What do you know about that?
So funny enough, I'm looking at colleges right now since, I'm going into college and I was most interested in looking at kind of their SMA research if they had any. So I came across the University of Pittsburgh and they have a spinal cord stimulation trial going on right
I
now.
I
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that article on the Cure SMA page. Yeah.
I know it's so cool to me. Hopefully, if I go there, I'd be able to kind of participate in that research. But the funny thing is, there's not actually a lot known for why spinal cord stimulation works. Um,
To puncture.
oh, so it's like kind of an electrode paddle. Like pretend it's like
Mhm.
this little circle. Well, there are two ways you can do it. You can either surgically put an electrode paddle in you, pretend it's just like something that generates electricity, and then they would basically create a current that touches your nerves. And because you're basically this is how if I could summarize it correctly, your neurons haven't received nerves for a long, I mean, electric signals called action potentials for a long time because they've been atrophied. So, like, because they're now receiving those nerve signals again, they're kind of responding and like changing so they can actually accept them, is what I think is happening. But there's a lot more science into it that hasn't fully been uncovered. I'd love to help uncover it in the future.
I
So yeah.
That's
see.
so cool.
We
Yeah.
yeah, like back when I was looking at human anatomy stuff, like the action potential, yeah. So it's like it's stimulating like that chemical reaction that would be happening in like a normally functioning like spinal cord
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
basically trick the body to just reopen those pathways or like do stuff. It's like interesting. That's cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
I love nerding out.
No, I think that stuff's really cool, and I think it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the action potentials. It's like it's crazy the amount of like reactions that are happening to like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, so I do want to spend just a little bit of time talking about you two specifically because I think what you guys got going on is really cool, really special. Thankfully I have Uriel as my caretaker, who's my best friend,
Yeah.
and that's really special. But yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on, um, you know, Derek, what's it been like being Justin's, brother, big brother, but also like his caretaker? Anything like specific you've learned from just being with him?
I think probably the most important thing is just learning to see things from his perspective. It was definitely harder when I was younger, but I've really learned to kind of like see that there's a lot of things that unfortunately he's not capable of doing. So if I can do it for him, then I should really be doing my all to help him do those things. And that just kind of goes into, kind of daily caretaking tasks, like, positioning him, um, carrying him, all those kind of things. And yeah, kind of just meeting him where he's at.
That's cool. And what about you, Justin? Anything you feel like you've learned just hanging out with Big Bro?
Mm, I do not know.
That's all good. No worries, dude.
Yeah, but seeing it through their perspective is very important, and I think this line of work is insanely humbling, and I wish people could just understand the amount of effort that's required to do this. Like the amount of emotional maturity, just maturity in general, like patience to do this.
Like
It's
doing
like,
caregiving. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's quite humbling because like especially with people, disabled people, SMA patients, even elderly, it's like you need to have a lot of patience, and it requires a specific skill set that you could argue is kind of hard to practice if you're not used to it. Yeah.
Oh, show. So my understanding is you guys are Vietnamese. Derek, you've been to Vietnam, right? So
Mhm.
what are like the bigger differences you've noticed between the States and Vietnam in general? And then also like in terms of, accessibility. I know we talked kind of about, third world countries and costs for medications already, but just anything in that ballpark that you can think of.
All right, so I'll start this off with a story. So the reason why I actually went to a hospital in Vietnam for my own health problems. So I was getting a facial massage, and then I don't know if there was something I was allergic to. The following day, my entire face got puffy, and so they had to take me to a hospital. I was like for the rest of the trip, I was like wearing this white powder, so I might have looked like a clown from the rest of my month stay there. No, when I was at the hospital, it was like it was starkly different to hospitals here. I think the main difference is there are only two lines for treatment. There's the regular line, and then there's the people who can pay more. So,
Mm,
again, that kind of goes back to the idea of how baseline health insurance doesn't really cover, like, it won't be able to provide you everything. So, in there, like, there's also only kind of one specialist there that kind of assesses you, and then you're immediately kind of brought to get treated. But if it was more complicated, like something with SMA, I feel like, well, they wouldn't really be able to provide the best care just because there wasn't that much staff and they have so many other people to help. That was my experience with it. I can go a little bit more in depth about accessibility specifically. I think that one main effort for those of SMA in Vietnam is actually to get them to China, because China, the cost of SMA treatment there is actually like much lower. I think that it's $600 compared to like well,
yeah.
obviously compared to like the 25K it would be in
Well,
other places. So that's like a really great way that they're able to afford that accessibility. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I was able to learn from, being as in Vietnam. Oh,
yeah,
one more thing though, it's also not very accessible. Just like there's not a lot of, wheelchairs, like ramps. It's an incredibly, well, in cities especially, it's obviously
Okay.
very crowded, but if you were in a wheelchair, it is very hard to go out, a lot, even more so than here. My mom told me about this actually, but most of the time, kids don't even have the chance to go to school. They have to stay at home just because not only are their parents working, but it's challenging to actually, make the journey there and back if they do have mobility limitations.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be my next question. Yeah, because this is like a pattern that's seen across the world even, and I was talking to Dom about it where larger population cities, metropolitan cities, cities in general tend to be not only like more diverse and more like progressive and more most populous, but also tend to be the epicenter of accessibility, or basically they set the pace for what accessibility everywhere else is going to look like in the country. And I was going to ask about like cities versus like rural, urban, and like, yeah, there you go. It's hard.
yeah. Well, so that makes sense. Is that the reason that you kind of got involved or started that like tutoring program?
Yeah, it was it really did open my eyes to like the fact that those of SMA need, like, well, if they can't support their own health, then they need to find a way to, do it, and that has to be through some sort of income. So,
Yeah.
along with working with SMA Vietnam for that English tutoring program, I am trying to work with them to kind of support their health costs too, and hopefully we can get a fundraiser going in the next year.
Heck
Well,
yeah.
yeah, it was good on you. And I think I don't know, like it was Americans. I don't know why I find it shocking, but it's crazy how when you went to the hospital it was set up like that, where there's those that can pay and then other people. It's like an like you know what I mean? It's like an odd form of like othering. Like you either afford it or you're over here. And I think that's yeah, like not too dissimilar to like our healthcare system where you're either broke or you can afford it.
Yeah.
It's just like wow.
Yeah, I remember, but this kind of goes back to the accessibility thing, but I came back to the US and I hadn't seen like a ramp in so long. It actually shocked me. I was like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, we were talking about ramps the other day where there are local businesses where we live where they don't have ramps, or like they have a bit of accessibility stuff, and like Dom and I went on a ramp. Like it's not that hard to get like a
Well,
$50 ramp from Home Depot.
well, like last weekend, we went with our buddy who came down from or came up from LA
Yeah.
to this pizza place, and they had, steps to get in the front.
Yeah, you can get in for the front door
The only way you can get in is from the back.
for the
Like you have to
kitchen.
go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, I can do it. It's not a big deal.
Like they were cool with it, but at the same time, we can alleviate all of this. You just go down to Home Depot, get yourself a
Yeah.
like literally like a 50, $70 ramp.
Like I was trying to navigate through the tight little kitchen area and not run the cooks over. This one guy was like, "Oh shit," because he like almost,
Yeah.
stepped on me or whatever. So it was a whole thing.
Yeah. And the thing is, well, Dom and I discussed this in another episode of like Friendly Like Me. It's it's not too hard just to get a portable ramp going.
Hmm.
And then once you have it and people show up in wheelchairs and they realize, oh, I can come here, like if I call ahead of time, they'll take the ramp out. I can go here. I can eat here. Then you become a regular. And that's kind of the whole point of like the Friendly Like Me app and all that. And I think it's important because as like Dom could probably attest to this, once you go somewhere and you know that they are accessible and they do treat you right, like you just want to like keep going back.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of going
Okay.
places, oh, did you want to say something
Yeah.
there?
Oh yeah. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like because ramps and stairs, they basically have the same function, right? There's like
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
no benefit to having
Yeah.
stairs over ramps.
That's what I agree. Yeah, especially like if you're older, like I feel like a ramp is easier to get up when you're older, like past like the age of 70 something, because it's like, yeah, sure you have handrails, but like the ramp, it's just like you just have more like contact because you don't have to take one leg off of a step completely. You have like 4 points of contact, you can just like shimmy your way up.
Hmm.
It's,
That's
that's
interesting.
my take.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
No, I agree with him. It's just like why do we even like I guess maybe it's just like it's like an aesthetic thing. But I think people just probably think stairs look better, but that's also kind of
Well,
like
and like from like an engineering standpoint, you would think
and like yeah, like
ramps would just be simpler, like
yeah,
the straight diagonal line instead of
right,
cubical like cut off stairs,
right.
uh,
It's just like
90-degree
yeah, it's
angles.
just odd ableism that we like don't think about in society, huh? Like
Yeah.
are stairs really that? Is like is it an aesthetic thing? Do we really get like well, I think
Yeah.
ramps. I wouldn't mind ramps. I think it actually like be easier even for someone like me that's able-bodied to just like walk up a ramp
Uh-huh.
than a staircase. That's
Yeah.
just me. But also I guess it depends on like the environment. Like some like if you use ramps, some parts may be like way too steep or just like way too like intensive a workout.
Yeah, and it depends on like it's the environment, the layout of the ramp,
Yeah.
how long it is, the
But this is
steepness
our
of it.
local pizza place. It's just
Yeah.
like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Like no, not even like a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to rant there, my bad.
A ramp rant.
A ramp rant.
So yeah, I just wanted to ask because you guys also mentioned when we talked earlier that you have gone on like several vacations. So I already see you smiling, Justin.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy your various vacations? I see you've gone to Texas,
Mhm.
Vegas, California. Well,
There was more accessibility.
there was more accessibility,
Yes,
like in all those places, or just one specifically?
all of them.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Which one would you say you enjoyed the most? What's your favorite vacation?
Texas.
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 Okay, why Texas? What's so cool about Texas?
Mm, we went to the zoo.
The zoo?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I've heard good things about
Is
like
that in Dallas?
Dallas or Fort Worth Zoo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Well,
Are
yeah,
there, are there two separate zoos? There's Dallas Zoo then Fort Worth Zoo,
I think so.
or is it the same zoo? Because Fort Worth isn't it's not that far from
It's
Dallas,
not
is it?
that far. Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
But what would you have like a favorite animal that you like wanted to see?
We liked all of them.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Animals are dope.
Yeah, dude. That's cool. Well, so Texas was really fun because of the zoo. Was there like anything else that stood out to you that you really enjoyed?
The ice cream store.
Ice creams. Yeah.
Yeah, that Texas goes crazy with ice cream.
With how hot it is there.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Okay, what about I want to hear about Jamaica. What was Jamaica like?
Mm, they had the restaurant where the chef cooks in front of us.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh,
Like a what is it, like a Benihana's that do that?
from what I've seen in like Jamaica, that's like pretty common is you just kind of pull up and like people are just like making stuff right there and
Yeah.
you just like order or like point like that one from what I've seen. Correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong, but like
I think that it was I think we stayed in a resort there. There was actually a pretty stark contrast between like what the resort looked like and what, outside the resort looked like. And
Uh,
yeah,
okay.
I was like I remembered it and I was looking at the Grand Resort and then I realized there was like nothing around us for miles because we were like in this isolated corner. And we did go out to like, actually see kind of like, a town. Was definitely not nearly as fancy as what the resort looked like, but
Hmm.
it was still nice to see how people lived. Justin has the better memory, so he'll probably be able to tell you more about that than me.
Well, huh.
hmm.
How would you rank the accessibility here? Just out of curiosity.
What do you mean here?
Or like in all the places you visited, how would you like I guess a bit of a tier list maybe?
He said Texas, bro. Ice cream and
Oh,
food.
okay, yeah, thanks then. Well, I'm more curious to see how California stacks up to all of them because we live there. I'm a little biased. I want to know how we stack up compared to like Texas. Can you scroll back up, please?
hmm
Texas,
Jamaica,
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, how's the accessibility between Vegas, Texas, if you remember Derek, Justin?
Las Vegas had a lot of accessibility. The only thing that was that it was hot.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet, yeah.
So when you say I had lots of accessibility, like what do you mean specifically? Like
They
ramp?
had a lot of ramps,
Okay.
This is in Texas.
sidewalks.
Yeah. And then when they didn't have ramps, like it was short enough that we could just pick up his wheelchair and just like hop on to the next platform and it would be smooth, for like the rest of the sidewalk.
This is in Texas,
Vegas.
Vegas. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
And then, what parts of California? I just gotta ask, because a couple Cali boys biased, and California's a huge state.
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot.
It was like, oh yeah, because we spent half our time in Las Vegas and then the other time we spent at like a beach resort. So they were I think that they were pretty accessible too. There was like elevators,
hmm.
like whenever you needed one. So I think that was something that we could really ask more for. For instance, when you were going down to the resort to like the actual like the pool area and then the actual beach area, there were like three separate elevators, which was in three different locations, which was really convenient for us, I think.
Very cool. Um, were there any like specific challenges that you guys faced while doing this traveling? Like you guys mentioned, there's plenty of ramps to these places, elevators, which were helpful. Were there any like challenges you faced and with those challenges, would you give any specific advice or tips to get around them?
You know,
Derek?
Mhm.
from in from Jamaica, it took them a long time to find the room. That I was starting to get hungry. I'm waiting.
That's no bueno.
Oh, boy,
They had cupcakes. However, it was not enough.
They had cupcakes, but they weren't
I
enough.
don't know.
Relatable, dude.
Yeah, I got a little
I find it,
hangry.
yeah. I honestly think that well, I kind of have to I didn't really pay that much attention to like specific challenges we had, mainly just enjoying the time we spent there. But
That's fair.
um
You're on
yeah,
vacation.
I think one important thing could be, well, this is pretty basic, but having a chair that could like change positions. Sometimes, like Justin's back might be hurting from sitting too much. So having a chair that can kind of like extend back so he's like almost completely laying down could kind of like give him some time to recover when it's kind of awkward for you to put him in a different chair or even carry a different chair with you.
Yeah.
Right.
I think. when we spoken to other people when it comes to traveling, I think their biggest concern, it's not if, but when will your wheelchair power tool get like damaged, like traveling? Because sometimes like the employees don't treat the equipment all that like nicely, and especially with like power chairs, maybe you could have some input. But
It
the
looks like
power,
Justin wants to have some input. I could tell.
yeah, because it's the power chair users, they were a bit like it's like oh like this thing broke off, like oh this thing got like scratched up, whatever. Like I hear if I remember Jared, I hear that remember that
Yeah.
like it's a bit of a nightmare to travel with a power chair.
Hmm.
But I could be wrong. Maybe things have changed.
I think that maybe like people we should start putting sticky notes to our to like the power chairs that say this costed $500,000. Please treat with care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty chronic issue that comes up online. I
Well,
see.
from what I've heard, from
Yeah.
what we've
Yeah.
seen, yeah.
Okay.
And it's like very like anxious too. It's just like, oh, is like my baby gonna be all good? Because that's your mobility. That's your means of transportation.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap up, I just want to take a moment to like give you a moment to share more about SMA Support Mates or SOAR. Really shine a light on that and leave on that note. So where can everybody find the SMA Support Mates program and like sign up for it?
Right. So yeah, we have a website called SMA-awareness.com, and under the events tab, you're able to access all the information about SMA support mates. Currently, we do have only we call our young individuals with SMA mates, and because we've had so many great support partner applications, we're actually trying to focus on recruiting more of those young people just before we open back up support partner apps for the future. And then yeah, I think that it's a really great way to kind of, if you do have SMA, it's a great way to kind of give back, as Dominic, you mentioned, and kind of guide somebody else through the process that you've experienced. And even if you're just kind of interested in learning more, it's a great way to learn how to empathize, especially because, they face challenges that you might not have considered um
Mm.
yourself facing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about like social media? Do you guys have a social media handle?
Oh yeah, so our two social medias are just our Facebook. I mean, sorry, no. We do have Facebook and Instagram, and you can find us just by searching up the name of our nonprofit. So SMA Outreach and Awareness Resource, or you can search up SOAR. I
Perfect.
think for Instagram, it's soar.SMA awareness.
Okay.
Sweet. I'll make sure to tag you guys on the episode, post. We'll get that all linked up and make sure that we link the website too. That way people can check it out.
Oh, well, thank you guys so much. It was great talking to you on
No,
this.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a
Is
great
it
time.
is there any kind of like specific support you guys would like that would be helpful for getting more, uh, younger adults signed up in
Mm.
the program?
I think really just more publicity, which is exactly what you guys are giving us. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay.
What? You had a thought?
No, I was just thinking like surely like we have like some like Facebook groups we can
Well,
send links
I'm sure
to.
like he's already in the SMA
Yeah.
groups and stuff. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll share it
You know
out.
the spots.
You know the
Yeah.
spots.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right then. Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming on and talking with us. It was super chill. Any final questions, thoughts, concerns, grievances?
No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I appreciate the maturity and the courage to touch on those specific topics that affect people with SMA because for some reason in our culture, those stuff are a bit taboo and it could be really frustrating and disencourage, like, what's, is it like discouraging
Mhm.
for young people with SMA because these are things that are always in the back of people's minds, but we're afraid to express outwardly, whether that be like dating, friendships,
Mhm.
like anxiety, like with these worries. And I think it's important. What you're doing is really important. And like,
Yeah.
and it's a step in the right direction to normalize these discussions. That way people don't feel lost or alone.
Actually, it's a roll in the right
A
direction.
roll in the right. Oh, okay. Oh, you got it.
But yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, thank you for listening. As always, if you liked what we had to say today, please leave us that rating. Nice little review on Apple Podcasts is always appreciated. You can comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube. Be sure to share with your family and friends. And if you're not already, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all.
Spotify?
That's how they're watching this.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing social media now, buddy. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Oh, we're up.
We're up. Yeah. Yeah, we're on all those platforms at the Disability Myth, all one word. And with that being said, peace and love, and may the force be with you.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.